Hey, what's going on, everyone? Adam here with Brahwegotthis, and today I want to help all of you out that are new to the Division 2 to navigate your way through it. This is going to be my ultimate beginner guide. The Division 2 can be extremely overwhelming when you log in and start on your adventure as Division Agent, or in this case, this masked man that I am. It's comparable to the overwhelming sense I got when I played Elder Scrolls Online for the first time, which I'll link that beginner guide if I have any Elder Scrolls Online fans here watching. The game's awesome, but it's very similar to that, as the game just kind of just throws you in to the mix of everything, and you really aren't sure kind of where to begin if you're especially new to the series. But it's really tough to kind of know where to go. What should I do to level the easiest? What gear should I keep, if any? What is recalibration? How do I craft? Do I dismantle or sell guns and equipment? And what perks and skills should I choose? So that's what I'm here for. I want to make this a great experience for you all, because this game is so rich and deep with content, and it's truly the best looter shooter in years to come out from the past years to come out, in my opinion. Now, before I start, I do want to mention that if you are new to the channel, me and my roommate do a podcast every Tuesday called Lagged Out. So if you want to come check us out and say, hey, that would be awesome, I'll link it in the description. But we talk about all video games, so let us know what you think and say hey to us. So let's not waste any more time, and let's get into this guide. To start off, I'm not trying to tell you this is the only way to play the game. It's just meant to try to guide and help you and make sure you play it the way, that is most efficient for you. But make sure you play the game the way you want, so you have the best experience possible. Okay, so first let's start off by talking about the best path and most rewarding path to level 30, which is the start of the end game. I won't talk much about in-game in this guide. That will be another guide I'll be making. That's a whole other monster that we'll need to deal with later. But there are guides out there that show you the fastest farming method to 30, which if that's what you want to do, that is perfectly fine. But I want to warn you that it may not be the most rewarding one. And what do I mean by this? So my recommended path to level 30 is to play through all of the main missions and side missions available to you. What this will do is it will get you all the skill points you need for your skills. It gets you loads of shade tech, which I will get to in a minute. It will get you blueprints, and it will basically get you to level 30. Now, if you did the main missions and nothing else, you would be short of the level requirements of the story missions right around level 15. So that's why there's side missions. So basically you see a main mission right here, right? This normally you would say required level 22, right? Or something like that. And basically there's going to be just these different side missions that you can do in different parts of the maps when you're not in the end game. And so if you just do all of those main missions, you're not going to hit that level requirement, because you have to do a few other things before you hit that. So that's basically what I'm meaning by that. But so back to the side missions. These missions reward you with scaling experience, some shade tech, and blueprints. So I just threw a lot of terms and information at you there. So I'm going to break it down a little better. Side mission levels scale to your level. So if there's a side mission at the beginning of the game, it is still relevant to do at level 28, let's say, and it will reward you with the appropriate experience, which is really nice because some games don't do that, which makes certain missions a waste of time. That's what ESO, Elder Scrolls Online, used to be until they had an update. So what I did was I did a main mission. So basically there's usually a main mission in a zone, right? I did a main mission and then 2 side missions. That was enough to get me to the level requirement of the next main mission. I did a few public events and a few control points as well. So public events would be like public executions, and control points right here. So I did that, and that basically, from doing all of that, that got me all the way through the campaign and got me at about level 29 and a half, which was very close to the very last stronghold mission and to the beginning of endgame. The reason shade tech is so important is these missions give you it in large quantity. So normally you see like a shade tech node right here. That's just one shade tech. But these missions a lot of times will give you 5 shade tech by completing them. And that will allow you to get your perks and variants of skills. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. So this is why I believe this is the most rewarding way to level 30, just because it gets you a lot of things at once. It gets you shade tech, gets you blueprints, gets you experience. It lets you experience the campaign, story, and all that. So if you want to grind to level 30 as quick as possible, go check out other people's guides for that. There are things you can do, but this is, I think, the most rewarding way to level 30. Now, let's talk about map awareness and map knowledge. Before anything else in this guide, the map can be very overwhelming and a cluster if you don't understand it. So first off, each zone will have at least one safe house. So these are safe houses right here. Always unlock these first if you can when first traveling to the zone. What this does, it gives you a fast travel location to that zone. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. So when I fast travel here, we'll see that it's going to do the fast travel animation. And then once I'm into the safe house, I will show you what there is that you can do there. Okay, so once I'm into the safe house, you will see other players in here. Usually you can meet them, talk to them. It's going to give you a matchmaking station. It's also going to give you a stash so you can put stuff in. It's going to give you a place where you can junk things, like sell it, so salvage. But the other main thing is the liberation. So basically, it also has bounty board. Forgot about that. And but it has like a liberation thing. So basically, each safe house has a spot, and it's usually like around these computers or whatever. And what you do is the liberation, it basically reveals everything on the map for you in that zone, like places of interest, some public events, control points, shade tech. So that's really, really helpful. And that will help you kind of decide what you want to go for next in that zone. So let's talk about fast traveling real quick. The places you can fast travel are your control points. So right here, your safe houses, which I'm in right now. Control points only if you control them, so the green ones. Settlements, which is like settlement, White House, that settlement, the campus, so campus, and this is theater, and then there's one down here called the castle. And something else that people don't realize is you can actually travel to completed missions or started missions. So like if you don't have any, like I have no control points over here, I have a safe house, but if I didn't have the safe house, I could fast travel right here, and that's really, really helpful. And then you can also fast travel to other players as well that are in your party. Now, if I forgot any other places that you can fast travel, just troll me down in the comments below. So basically, anything you see that isn't marked side mission or mission is left up to you if you want to alter the state of the map. If you want to do the public events like executions and propaganda broadcasts, these will give you rewards for doing so, like gear and blueprint, or not, I don't know if they'll give you blueprints, but they'll give you gear and other things and experience. But if you die during these, they will disappear. So don't worry too much about controlling this map when you're level 1 through 30, because it will completely change when you get to end game. So let me explain this a little more with the next part of the guide, and that is control points. So these things. So these are points that are ever changing. They get invaded by factions of the map. So hyenas, true sons right here. Oh, whoops. True sons and outcasts, which are right here. And then in the end game, black tusk. So if you go to an enemy control run, you will fight the enemies and you'll kill the heavily armed hostile. So I'm going to demonstrate that right now. So basically, when you kill them, you can call for your reinforcements as well, but then this heavily armored hostile will actually spawn. And once you kill that heavily armored hostile, usually they will send reinforcements. So now the enemy reinforcements will come, and I always suggest getting on this minigun if you can. Just kind of mowing people down. Makes it a lot easier. And then another enemy heavily armored hostile will actually spawn. But if you do this, obviously you can see that there you go. It's now complete. So when you do that, you'll have an officer that you can donate materials to. So I'll get to that in just a second. But the main thing is the supply room unlocks. So when you get to the supply room, you can get the gear, and this gear will always be to basically your level, and it usually is really, really good. So you know, we've got some high-end stuff. Awesome. That's actually a set that I'm looking for. But yeah, so you get that, and once that happens, you have this officer right here, and you can donate goods to. So basically when you donate these things, they're in the red. So if you donate more things, this will allow, you know, them to be to where they can sustain themselves for a little bit, but they'll always go down. They're always going to deteriorate. And that will, the higher they are, the more fortified they will stay. So when you have one of the perks called detection too, right here, this highlights, it acts better detection for hostiles on a 20 meter radius for 10 minutes. Once you donate enough resources to control points, and that's helpful because it'll just allow you to see hostiles, so you don't just get surprised, you know, out of nowhere. Now, if you're wondering, well, should I donate goods to them? Can they be taken? Or should I be donating goods to them? And also, can these control points be taken back? The first answer to your question to that question about donating goods to them, it's really up to you for that, because donating them will get you progress towards projects, which again will be discussed about this in a later part of the guide. But when you hit 30, the control points will be enemy controlled again anyways, so when you get to end game, it's going to change. But if you donate to them, supplies will be lootable there every 24 hours once they replenish. Now, to answer the second question, yeah, the control points can be taken back if they are donated, if they aren't donated enough resources. So to sum up the control points, the way that I went about this, I captured a few to have as fast travel locations. I didn't worry too much about donating because 1 through 30 took me about 23 hours. So I knew they were all going to change at endgame. So that ultimately is up to you how you do that, but I would recommend not spending too much time on them since they are going to be completely different when you hit 30. Now let's talk about spending your shade tech and what it is exactly. This is the currency you could say that helps you get your perks and skills in the division. If you do what I recommended earlier about leveling, you won't have any problem with having enough shade tech. So when you get skill points from main missions, you pick skills that you want. So right in here, these are your skills. You use skill points. You can unlock one. You get 8 skill points. You will unlock one of each, basically. So with that, I would recommend only choosing one other variant of that skill that you want to try until you fully know which skills you want to use, because they take about 5 shade tech for each, or they take 5 shade tech for each variant. So as you see here, each variant besides the first one is going to be 5 shade tech. So I usually would choose like 1 or 2 other. Obviously I only chose 2 here, but I kind of knew what I wanted to do, so that's why I just kind of unlocked them all and then kind of went with the things that I wanted to try out. Now for the perks, here are the ones that I think you should prioritize first. Weapon slot, obviously. So this one, restock, which is this one, armor kit, which is this one, inventory, which is right here. Let's see, stash, which is this, all experience boosters, so all these accolades, because that will just help you, get faster leveling as well. Crafting mats, which is deconstruction, or actually, so you want deconstruction, but also crafting mats, which are, where are they at? Right here, crafting materials, that's the storage for that. Detection, like I said before. and resources. And also field proficiency cache is nice too. I like that. So I would do that one as well. If you do all of that, you will have plenty of shade tech left over. I think I have 51 shade tech right now. And I've done some things obviously after that, but still, even then, it's like, it's kind of ridiculous. But I have a lot of shade tech left over. And I haven't spent them on skills, but you will have plenty if you do that. Now, moving on to projects. You open up projects eventually after some missions in the campaign. These are at all the settlements, so you can see what ones you have going on. So right here is the projects table. There is one in each for each zone on the map, basically. So Foggy Bottom, Southwest, West Potomac, Judiciary Square, all this stuff, basically, right? So there's a lot of things when you see this, right? You'll eventually see dailies, you'll see weeklies, you'll see Dark Zone, all of that stuff, right? So all I want you to focus on right now is doing the ones that say goal project. So these, goal project. These are ones that will be there no matter if you are 1 through 30 or at end game. Once these are done, they are done and they don't reset. So you will eventually see daily and weeklies and stuff like that. But I recommend completing these goal projects because they will give you bounties, crafting mats, blueprints, and great experience to get you faster to 30. And like I said, you can slowly work on them while going through because they will still be there in endgame. Obviously, I haven't completed all of them, but that's why, some of them are resupplies friendly control points. So that's why I was saying you could donate if you wanted to get that completed. And then sometimes you can, recover shade tech caches, all this other stuff, right? But basically, those will always be there. So just slowly work on those. And I think that's kind of the best thing to kind of talk about when it comes to that. Now, the last thing I want to talk about in this guide is loot management. And this one is super overwhelming and a big one. You will have loot coming out of your ears in this game, and you are like, I don't know what to do. There are so many things to look at. It's okay. Take a deep breath. That's why I'm here. I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. So greens and blues that you get from drops, use them until you get purples and yellows that you like. After that, dismantle them, sell them, ship them to another country. I don't care. You don't need them anymore. I would dismantle them because you'll basically get your max common crafting mats. Now, when you start getting purples and yellows that are lower than 30, only keep these if you like a talent on them. So a talent are these things right here. So double duty, lucky shot, allegro, all that stuff, right? Otherwise, dismantle the purple and yellow armor and sell the purple and yellow guns. Now, let me explain the reasoning behind this. The only reason you would want to keep a lower level than 30 weapon or armor is if it has a talent you like, because you will get a much better gear. You'll get as much gear in the end game, if not more. You can eventually take that talent and put it on a higher gear item with recalibration, but don't worry about that right now. Just put it in your stash, favorite it by hitting R on the PC. I don't know what it is on consoles. The reason you shouldn't keep it based off stats, and what I mean by stats is, so if you look at armor, right, they have these attributes, right? These are randomly rolled. The reason that you shouldn't keep these on lower level gear is because these numbers are going to be higher base when you get to end game. So like, for instance, a green item might have damage to elites, but it might be 1% on that green item. It's not going to be 11%. So the gear you get in the end game is going to have higher percentages and stuff here. So there's no point in keeping an item because of these attributes. You're going to get higher ones in the end game. But these talents, from the way I understand it on like purples and yellows, right, in the lower end game, I'm pretty sure the talents are still pretty relevant unless it scales, but I'm pretty sure it's still pretty relevant because I have some purples from lower level gear that I've kept just for the talents because you can recalibrate it eventually. Now, the reason I say sell the guns and dismantle the armor is because dismantling the armor will get you higher tier crafting mats. So basically, you'll get brand sets. Brand sets will allow you to get, they'll allow you to get these things, high-end materials. So like Solikov Concern, Providence Defense, Fenris Group AB Tracer. So basically with that, these are brand sets. They have like, you know, a 3-set bonus, blah, 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 blah. So they're in purple and they're in yellow. So that's why you should dismantle the armor. Now, because if you just dismantle the guns, you just get components and lower tier things like steel, which you will pick up in the world from enemies a lot anyways. Now, you can still dismantle them. It's just you will hit max crafting mat stack. That was a lot of words there. But basically, like, when you get to these crafting mats, right, you're going to hit, I'm at 400 out of 400, 3 out of 300. You know, I'm at max stats, or max stack. So there's really no point in dismantling guns when you're at this point. You might as well just sell them because you're going to need money to upgrade your crafting bench. You're going to need money to recalibrate. You're going to need money to do things in this, like to craft things in general. So you might as well sell the guns. When I first started, I was so overwhelmed with what I should sell and dismantle and keep. So I think this should help you not feel so overwhelmed by this. Also, keep any mods that you get and that you like until you get the same mod in in-game with better stats. Dismantle the ones you don't want because they will give you printer filament, which will help you craft and upgrade your crafting bench. The last thing is you will eventually be able to upgrade your crafting bench. So on mine, you see that I'm at 400 to 440. So when World Tier 5 comes out, which is in-game, I'll be able to upgrade that again, I'm assuming. So upgrade it when you can, and you'll need materials and money to do that and throughout your playthrough so it's ready for the end game. Now, briefly on crafting and recalibration, seriously, don't worry about crafting items or recalibrating items before level 30. It's really not going to matter too much until you get to the end game. I'll be making some guides for these that go in depth for these things later. So everyone, that is it for this beginner guide for Division 2. I hope this all helped you and made you feel a little less stressed. It definitely took me some time to figure this out, so I was right there with you guys. Also, I will be making a video on in-game crafting, recalibration, and how to theory craft your own builds here soon. So I hope y'all will check those out. You can also watch me play in the evening around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/Brahwegotthis on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. But thanks again, everyone, and let me know if you have any questions in the comment section, and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. And if I missed anything, let me know, and let me know anything I can improve on. But until next time, remember, guys and gals, to have faith, be great, and I'll see you guys later.